is January 17th, sorry, 31st, which was the date to 2024. We have, people have a meeting, so we're just gonna go over the minutes. Any questions on the minutes? Anybody wanna look at it first before we approve them?
So just one little change, I wasn't present last time.
Where are the minutes?
Somebody's.
You don't have it?
Oh, I didn't read it.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't present the last time, that's the only correct.
Is it ours?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think it's the people that live down on this.
I don't know.
They signed seating, let me see, it's right here.
Everybody has the same stuff.
Go up there. Zoe, I believe you have one question concerning the $129.50 that each individual home was charged.
Hi, son.
Hello.
Was someone brought it
Are
up?
you talking about on my email where I said Master Association increase of 5966, is that the 124, no? What are you talking
No.
about?
Yeah, she'll bring it up, okay.
So, no, I mean, that to me, I think you're referring to the special assessment they had. So that has nothing to do with the new budget amount.
Well, in the Master Association fees, they've gone up.
Right.
So I'm just asking if that 5,966 is relevant to that increase that's been levied by Master Association.
No, what happened, the previous board at the association forgot to add something in, so they found it when the new people took over, the treasurer, and had it found out, so all villages did get hit. We got it,
Okay.
now we got it on because we only have 43 homes. But the other villages got hit 14, 19, 20,000, that's how it came up to 5,000.
Got it.
That's nothing to do with the budget.
One second.
Okay, then,
That's it,
okay.
okay? Anybody want to approve?
Does anybody want to approve the minutes?
You want to approve the minutes?
Okay, I approve.
Second?
Second?
Secretary?
With the change,
That you
with
want
the
to go
change
on?
of the
Sure.
you got
With the
to.
change.
I approved it.
Okay,
All in favor?
Okay.
okay. Okay,
First up is the budget.
yes.
So it was sent to everybody to approve. And if there are any questions about it, we can talk about it. Or we can vote to approve it or not approve it. Do you want me to talk about questions?
I mean, you can, if you have it. I mean,
So, yes, does the balance sheet accurately reflect all liabilities incurred whether billed yet or not through the end of the year?
Specifically pertaining to legal, that was my
Yes, so
question.
we're current on the legal fees.
And we're fully billed on all the legal.
We're-
because-
I don't know if there's something outstanding for a letter for this meeting or what, but
Up to
we
date.
pay them as we get them.
It's not what she's saying.
Okay, then,
What she's saying is, has work been done in the 11th month fiscal year, February to February 2023, legally, that has not generated a bill yet?
How would we know that?
We've paid to date on everything.
Yeah.
Whatever comes now is a new bill for new
Nothing's
stuff.
How do you know?
Because he's
We
here,
haven't
he's
gotten an
telling us
invoice.
to
I
pay.
give
We
an
haven't got an
invoice, I give
invoice.
monthly invoices.
Yeah.
So
We
if you
don't
don't get an
have-
invoice, you're not billed, I don't bill for nothing, so you haven't gotten a bill in a while.
The reason why I asked the question is
Of course.
because on the budget, we're decreasing our legals.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Well,
as I
then-
said in my
So I'll
email,
talk
great
about
news,
that.
we don't have an increase in our
Right.
HOA fees, but we're seeing, you know, we're in the middle of litigation.
right.
And that and then we're saying, okay, well, now we're gonna decrease our legal bill from 40,000 to 30,000, or our budget, should I say. So my concern is, are we budgeting sufficient so that we don't get landed with a special assessment? That's my concern, and hence my question.
So, I agree that it's more meaningful if you see the current expenses to date, when you see the proposed budget completely.
Yeah.
That, it's hard to look at it, the proposed budget by itself and say, you know, this is fine, you know, because it is based on our current expenses.
And previously, Cheryl, you'd always had an estimated closing for us to compare to budget. This year, I'm looking budget to budget, and I'm like, I had zero visibility in what we've spent through 2023.
Right,
So-
so I expected that it would come out like that too, but it didn't come out like that, because I send them, like a spreadsheet, and they put it on a form, and I thought it would have that with it, but it didn't have that with it.
This is the same form we've used
Yeah,
since we've
so I don't
started,
know,
you
but
guys.
I couldn't do it.
It's no
if I
different than
didn't
it's
have
been
that
every other year.
information. But I can tell you.
So what is it that Zoe's
Wait,
saying
wait.
is different?
Wait, can you finish up, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so to date, one of the reasons I lowered it is, well, first of all, people didn't like that it was so high, but we didn't wanna have a special assessment. We'd rather budget for it if we know it's here and plan accordingly, so that's what we did. Now it's lowered, is there a chance that we could have a special assessment? There always is, there was before too, we don't know. We're hoping that it's going to be wrapped up and be done. And that fact, combined with the fact that we, to date, spent $23,603, we thought it was,
You estimated it to be enough.
right,
Be
we thought it was
sufficient.
reasonable
Yeah.
to start lowering it.
So what we're saying is from a legal perspective, because that's one of the biggest numbers on the
That's one of the
budget,
big-
right? Is
right.
from a legal perspective, we don't have any outstanding invoices, maybe a
A letter.
presence of today,
Right.
maybe a letter, but other than that, everything, we're billed in full, we're paid in full.
Correct.
We have no outstanding liability, so you're budgeting 30,000 on the legal budget versus what we did last year, and you feel comfortable that that is gonna cover our legal bills. I understand there is always a chance of assessment,
Correct.
as I said in my email, but hopefully no assessment,
There was
good
good
news, no
reason.
increase.
Right, the
Okay.
numbers here supported changing it to 30, it's still more than what we've spent to date, of course, we do have 1 month left on our budget, but
God willing, it won't go
hopefully it
there.
won't go there, from 23 to 40.
And then if we are going to trial, Guy,
We are going.
so we are going to trial,
For sure.
and you are representing us in the trial, we don't need a trial attorney?
I am a trial attorney.
You are, okay, well, that's what I'm saying, you're a trial attorney, so then
Hope
that's
so.
different.
And now it's.
I slept at a Holiday Inn, so I've really gotten myself ready for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? Do we keep our books on cash or accrual basis?
Accrual.
Then why do not include invoices here for December and January?
For
I
what?
don't-
December and January.
The,
I don't understand.
the known expenses are
That's
accrued.
accounting stuff.
The known expenses are accrued. But if, we can't
Are
accrue an
they
invoice if we
included
don't
in
have one.
30,000? Are they included in 30,000?
Yes,
They are.
yes.
Is there
Can we
any,
see
any
them?
other concerns that are really worrisome, that we're going in between and navigating like this instead of straight shooting? Like, what's the biggest concern here in the finding?
That we don't have
Because we've
enough
never
money to
dissected
cover
it.
the expenses for the rest
Okay.
of the year.
What money, to cover what expenses, but we do have money.
I think it's.
Okay.
Okay,
How much
Cheryl,
money do
can
we
I-
have in the
I
bank?
think you have to just play direct.
How much money do we
Net
have in the bank?
income, okay, we're actually,
To tell you, one second.
we've been working on projects.
$105,029.28.
Okay, so
That
we can
includes
start with
capital?
that.
Includes everything.
Everything.
No, that's your actual cash. That doesn't include any liability, prepaid, insurance and stuff like that. That's your actual cash in the bank.
But I still don't understand, as far as the accounting is concerned, if we're on an accrual basis, then we don't have the invoices, all the invoices paid as of today.
Any invoices that we have been paid as of today.
Well,
And then we accrue expenses that we know, for example, landscaping, we know what the monthly cost is, but for an invoice, for an expense that we haven't received an invoice for, we can't possibly
Can we
address
see the
that.
actuals before we even approve the budget?
What do you mean the actuals?
Well, for
The financials,
2023.
yeah, you can look at, we have monthly financials every month, you can call the office and we can send it to you, you can come in and look at the association records, it's all available. We
I
have
think
all that.
only the
And
board
the board,
approves,
yes,
the
the
board
board
is who
approves
approves
the
the
budget.
budget.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
but fine, you're gonna approve the budget, I
Yeah.
understand, but if the budget is incorrect, then why,
Well,
what's
you
the
can put
point
in a
of
complaint about it
approving
if you
it?
have if you don't feel it's correct, you should express what you think and how
Well,
you feel
that's,
and et cetera.
that's what I'm
She is.
doing.
No, I understand, I understand.
That's what I'm doing,
I
exactly
understand,
what
but
I'm
you're not
doing.
accepting the answer, you're not
I'm
believing the
not,
answer.
cause it doesn't make any sense for me,
Maybe
is
to you
that,
as a
from the
layperson.
accounting
She's
point
not,
of view,
she's
it
a
doesn't.
CPA.
Okay,
You're
then
right.
she's getting the answer, I don't understand.
Okay, so we come to the
Ask
office
to,
and we
ask to
check
get
all
her,
the
Yes.
invoices.
exactly, ask to come to
Absolutely.
the office and see it.
I have a few concerns.
Now, the fiscal year is 1/31 or 12/31.
The end of your fiscal year is January 31st.
And then they've got 60 days to file their
Yeah,
offer.
so it's
But
April.
actually,
It's 120
why-
days. 120 days.
I don't know, say 60.
No, it's 60.
I know, but the law says 120 days.
I am. Sure.
Right,
Harry,
Lou?
we pay,
120 days.
I just wanna confirm, we pay all our invoices when they come and as they come.
Yes.
We don't have anything outstanding, we don't do 30, 45 days, pay you later, see you later, next month, come in 6
Well, I
months.
mean, you get checks twice a month, so it might be a week or two.
But we pay as they come.
Mhm,
We have no big owing to anybody.
No. When we talk about accrual, we're talking about regular monthly expenses that are known, that you know how much you're gonna pay each
Okay.
month for that expense.
Okay.
For me-
Because this is not my strength either.
No,
Yeah?
so that sounds like it's relevant for the things that we prepaid.
Hold on.
Correct.
And Cheryl,
Hold on,
What the
one
legal
second.
situation is, did we, what happened? And we have another 30,000 for next year?
Budget.
Yes.
It's budgeted.
Hopefully
But
we
it's,
won't
we have to
spend
have it there, but doesn't mean we're gonna spend
I
it,
hope
God
we
willing,
don't
we
spend it.
don't.
Exactly.
We are okay with the inflation and all that stuff?
We're paid, everything's paid in full, we don't owe him anything, he's right here, he could tell you. We're free and clear.
but we
And
are
there's
still
no-
at about
there's no
200,000
danger to
since.
sue.
Oh, yeah, we're not happy about that.
Yeah, Cheryl,
Okay.
Cheryl, I would like to know, and I think a lot of the community members who don't know this, I would really like to see the records of exactly how much was paid in legal, when it was paid, and what it was paid for, and see what the state
So
is.
you could go to the office,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
You could go to the office, you go to
Anybody
the
can make a
office
records
and you get
request.
Okay, and it says who was paid, for what it was for,
Yeah.
every single thing. Do you have a number on it? It is itemized?
Well, the invoices are items.
Itemized.
Sorry,
Item.
I have a little bit of a
They're
congestion today.
itemized.
Correct. The
Okay.
invoices
Okay,
are.
off the top of my
Everybody's
head
welcome to go
right
to the
now,
office.
I do
You make
not.
an illegal, you
But
request
we
it
did
Do you have
by
any
email,
ballpark
just like the
plus or minus
Greenfields did,
10%?
and you go and check it
No,
all
because
out.
we did have that
So
number with
open
us.
book.
Maybe you know. Do you remember, do you know what the total spent so
I don't,
far?
but
Do you-
I could find out.
And for the record, not everybody can see the itemization with the entries, because
Correct.
it's privileged and confidential communications. Board members can, but the members cannot, and it's all privileged, so it's not to be discussed.
Okay.
Not all of it, but most.
You don't have a plus or minus 10%?
Not off the top of my head, no. Definitely not.
I mean, I would guess, but it'd be,
Well, guess.
no, I don't wanna guess,
Don't
because
guess.
my point was, I don't like to guess because it could be totally off. We, at several meetings back, we did have.
We had the exact number, and I don't remember what
I
it was
just don't
either.
remember it,
I had,
but
you know,
it's
20 meetings a month,
substantial.
I don't remember that exact number.
But it's close to $200,000, right? And we're confident.
It might be
that
north.
Might be north of that. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money no matter what it is, but we're
Right.
What was it
confident
last
that
time
the
when we asked?
30,000.
Especially when we expect it to be 30.
It was 180 when we asked last time, when was that? So yeah,
Many months ago.
yeah.
And it hasn't been, but you haven't had that,
But we haven't had a lot going on.
We're
We
not-
haven't had nothing going
No,
on.
no, I'm sorry.
Well,
not nothing, but
Do the
not a lot.
people, not counting the board, because I feel, I haven't been on this board very long. I really do not know the facts of the case for the student. I don't. I hear hearsay, I haven't read anything, I don't know anything. For me, the board is one thing, the board is just a bunch of people, an entity that's supposed to represent the 43 homes that we have here. That is what's important. The board is not important, it's the 43 homes that are important.
43.
That's
Oh, I thought
exactly
it was-
right.
Howie said 43 before,
I
so.
think it's
Well, it's
42.
I thought they
43
voted
units.
on it, since I-
43 units, but the one is a double, so it
One's a
becomes
double.
42.
Yeah.
But
What
you're
would you like
exactly
me to use,
right.
42, 43?
42.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
We know
42.
what
Well,
we're
that's
doing.
pretty
Whatever
good. I'm gonna use 42.
42 and a half.
So we have 42 units here. And if we take about $180,000, $200,000 so far, and again, you really don't know, it could be north of that. Do the people living in this community, which is why we're here, know that they basically, every single person paid about $5,000 or
I think
$6,000?
it's more than that, is if
Yeah.
it's the
Well,
same
but
amount
we've
as
been
it
talking
is,
about
if
it
it's
for years.
200.
Well, I gotta
don't
be
think they
honest
all
with you.
know. I agree with you.
I-
I do not think they all.
I gotta be honest with you, I pay attention.
Mhm.
I pay attention. I didn't know how much this was. I didn't know how much I paid for this. What
How
I'm
long are
asking,
you on the board?
about a year and a half,
No.
maybe 2 years. I still.
How many of these do we get every month?
One.
Once a month.
So,
And we've talked
Once a
about
month,
it at
every
meetings.
board,
We
every
talk
board
about it
member gets the
constantly.
finances
Dude,
of our,
again, you talk
community,
about it,
once
and
a month.
there are
I second.
6 board members
Every
here,
time.
and sometimes if it's a big meeting, there are 6 homeowners here. So what I'm saying is that the people in this community know, I'm
So
sorry.
we need it, you're at Howard's office.
Yes.
And you were there?
yes,
Yeah.
that's more than a year and a half.
Yeah, we've talked about this over and over again.
No, but
I'm
he's
not
saying
following
he
you.
knows,
You're not-
but he's not
you're-
sure
you're-
He's trying to
everyone
say
You're
else
not
that.
knows.
listening to what I'm
He's
saying.
saying
So I thought he
that
said
our
it.
neighbors
also-
don't know how much money of
Okay.
their contribution
Gotcha.
is
Okay.
going into the law.
I mean, I
would-
guess the concern here with everybody is,
Sure.
our community doesn't look its best, let's be honest. We need painting, we need our lamp posts fixing, we need our light, you know, and everybody's doing
Don't
the best
disagree.
they can, managing the money as best they can. But we have $200,000 in legal bill, maybe north of that number.
That's terrible.
That's a big spend, right?
Disgusting.
It's
Right.
impacting us residents. And one of the biggest spends on the budget, no disrespect to anybody, is legal again. Like, at what point, I understand from your perspective, you're representing us, and I'm not saying that you're, you know, charging
saying
us
you are.
out
I know.
of the ordinary, I'm sure you're not. But as a resident, I look around my community, and it's not getting any prettier. In fact, every year, month after month, it looks worse and worse.
You're right.
And
I
it-
agree with you
the-
totally. It
I
looks
mean,
like
the plants, it's just
terrible,
a,
awful.
and granted, I'm amazed, and that was why I raised one of my questions in my email. I ran 4 budgets. Not one budget hasn't had a significant increase this year based on contracted services, lighting, electric. I mean, insurance, everything's skyrocketed. And I'm looking at a budget that's flat over year over year.
Just this year, it went up
It
last
went
year.
up.
Okay,
It went up the past few
I
years.
was not paying any attention to anything last year. I
Yeah.
did
Post-COVID,
one
it
thing
went
that
up.
came out of this. Because health and honesty just needed a brain refresh. This year, I took the time yesterday and I looked at the budget and I'm like, we're gonna
Okay.
go down in legal? Are we protected by going down in legal? Does it make sense?
You're as protected as you were before, except that's what the numbers substantiate, the numbers. Yeah, the numbers.
No, that's not gonna make anybody
No,
be
you're
happy at all.
saying-
I don't
If-
know why, so everybody, you know,
My-
people did, you know, the $40,000 for legal is huge, I mean, that's huge.
Well, you're saying we spent 23,000 in the
This
actuals.
This
Mhm.
year.
Right, so then that makes sense
Okay.
to me, but
I
I
can
don't
tell
have
that.
that visibility. I'm
Right.
looking at
Okay,
budget
but as
last
far
year
as the
40.
other things go, the neighborhood maintenance, hopefully Carrie can go through that today. I saw
It's on
something
there.
listed that, you know, there are projects that we've been working on and she can explain. It's, I don't know what the holdup is.
We need budget, we need
But
money.
she, no, well, we are 31,000 so far under budget spent this year because we've been trying to get certain projects done, but there has been
Who agrees, who
one-
doesn't agree?
Well,
Correct.
besides here, you've had issues with like even the contractors.
Some of
And
them,
like,
but
you know,
but some of them are also
Ellen-
just.
Cheryl, I'm
What?
sorry to interrupt you because I was on a train of thought and I was trying to make a
Oh,
point
I'm
that
sorry,
I
go
had-
ahead.
No, that's perfectly okay. I venture to say that most of the people, majority of people living here have no idea that they've spent $5,000 plus out of their pocket for what I consider is a ridiculous situation.
It is, I
And I'm
agree.
gonna say something, please don't take it personally, I
Not
don't
at
even
all.
know you, you can't take it personally. Carrie, I don't know you, I honestly, obviously, I don't know you as a person. I'm-
Oh,
I'm-
Don't take it personally.
Right,
You
okay,
know,
there's
I don't
nothing-
think
but
it-
you're
I'm a
talking.
lawyer, I don't take
Terry-
anything personally.
Carrie
Uh-huh.
and Guy
Guy.
are hired hands,
Right,
okay? We run a ranch, they're hired hands, okay? So he doesn't have to be here, frankly, I don't understand why he's here tonight. Or what we're getting charged for him being here tonight on the budget meeting. Kerry can be replaced, you do a wonderful job, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they're hired hands. So when this whole thing started, before I was on the board, okay, because I ran an extremely large business, and I had tremendous amount of lawsuits, nothing to do with, I'm in the medical field, so people sue, okay? And the bottom line is, when you start a lawsuit and you're dealing with, not get involved in a lawsuit, and not you personally.
yeah, I didn't start this.
Cheryl, not you. And when this board,
The
I didn't want
lawsuit was
this
voted
lawsuit.
on,
when
nobody
the,
wanted it.
that's my point. Thank you, Lord, that's my point. So when a board whose fiscal responsibility and responsibility is nothing but to take care of the community, So whether you're giving advice, you're all smart. So whether you're giving advice that, yeah, this is a good path to take, let's defend this because we don't like this color, or whatever the case may be.
It's not just a color.
Here's the end result.
Right.
The end result is that there was a lawsuit started because of the house that a resident did, that the board didn't like, and.
No, that's
No,
not
not
true.
true.
No.
That's not true.
That's a
I
naive,
don't think
respectfully,
you're
that's a
informed.
naive way to do it. Let me
I don't
explain to you why
Please.
there's a lawsuit, okay?
Yes.
There's a
Okay.
lawsuit because you have covenants.
Correct.
And you've gotta follow those covenants.
Whether you like them or not.
And when, yes, and if you don't do it, then Zoe's issues about the neighborhood looking like whatever is gonna get even worse. Because when one owner doesn't do it, and everybody sees it's okay, because nobody's coming after them, then the next owner next door is gonna say, well, what about my house? I want a pink house, and I want a blue house, and I want a green house.
And I wanna build.
And I wanna put different colored window frames on, and I wanna do stuff in the backyard that I don't care if you authorize or not, and too bad about my neighbors, because I get to do it because you didn't do it to the first one. That's what the lawsuit's about. That's why, yes, you're covered. If you are sued, you are covered because you have insurance for that. Now,
And that
I will
was
tell
my
you,
other question.
yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
And I will tell you that
That's
more
right,
and
yeah.
more associations nowadays, because of insurance, are letting their attorneys handle the cases. And I've been extremely successful for my associations that defend cases that are frivolous, because otherwise your insurance goes up even crazier than your
It has.
legal budgets, right? Okay, that's one. But if you don't enforce your covenant, you have a right not to do it, then forget about anything. Because at
It
some
applies
point,
to
the
everything.
master's gonna step in and say, you guys are out of control, and is gonna come after every single one of you personally and sue you guys. We are maintaining your standards in this community. You can't have owners who sit there at an open meeting and shake your hand and tell you, I'm gonna do this and we're done. And then later you find out that they went home and supposedly they didn't have permission of their wife to do it. So they didn't abide by what they shook in front of 12 of you who are, some of you are on my witness list to say this, said, yes, of course he said he was gonna do it. But then he claims his wife. Or how about the fact that you convert your garage, which is illegal to do, and you claim that it was not done by you, yet the person who sold you the house testifies under oath, it was never like that with me. And you claim that the husband's gonna come over and he's gonna exonerate it all, never once produced. So let me tell you, it is not so simple as, you didn't like the color. It's not you didn't like the color. There's a color scheme. There's protocols set up. And if you don't follow them, you gotta be enforced to do it. And the association did everything in its power to try to resolve it. Everything. Begged it. I begged it. Shook hands with the gentleman. Shook his hand and he said, I'm gonna do it. Took his deposition and said, my wife said no. Sorry. Why don't you tell me? Oh, we're lawyers by then. Okay. That's the stuff we are dealing with, which the judge is gonna hear, and we've got a great judge.
Not just that.
We have got a great judge. All of the things done is just ridiculous in my view. And these are the type of cases I believe associations prevail on. Because when you sit there and you make these games about hugging, about, saying this or saying that and doing that, and if you're recording me without asking permission for, that's illegal in the state of Florida. So I will say that very clearly. If there's any recording with not being asked ahead of time, it's illegal in the state of Florida. So that's how it works, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. If you don't want to do it, that's okay with
And
you.
it's
I have plenty of work, I promise you that. I didn't solicit this, I was asked to enforce this. That's all it is. So it's not we didn't like a color. It's a color doesn't match. You've got, like Zoe said, there's a scheme in the community. There's things how it looks, the light posts, the color scheme of the homes. And when you start going rogue on that, you lose control of your community. If you're okay with it, God bless. If you're not okay with it, no.
As a member of our community, I think that selective enforcement is not okay. And if the rules are there, the rules should be abided by. 100%, and I don't think any resident would be in disagreement with that. And I feel that as a community, we're a small community, and I think that there are nobody disagrees with it. But definitely, we need to make sure that the money, because I'm not a rich person, if you come to me and tell me I need to pay $8,000 to go to court,
Yeah.
go to trial, I don't have that $8,000. And I don't wanna pay that $8,000, and I may be on my own here,
Neither do I.
but,
Neither do
so,
I.
And neither do I.
so just wanted to put that out there, and selective enforcement is not okay. Nobody is condoning that, and I know you're not. I think that
course.
the rules, Les, you neither. I mean, we want the rules to be abided by, for sure, all the way around the community.
Why is there such a great concern this time? Why is
What,
everybody?
legal?
I need to, and you know, I'm a straight shooter and you all know me very well. I need to know what's up, Les, what's up, Bev, what's going on, what is the biggest concern? Why is everybody here on the same issue? People that don't even come every meeting, nobody's interjecting, nobody's getting involved, people don't ask questions.
I think.
I'd like to know
I'll tell
what
you
is
what.
going on.
I think if the people of this community were given a choice or knew that exactly what Guy just said, that he said very eloquently and nicely, and said that this may cost you $10,000 to $20,000 a piece, because we have to enforce the rules no matter what, but it's gonna cost you $20,000.
Are they opposed to it?
I think the people of the community.
Do you know
would be
that when you
opposed to it.
sign your documents and move into this neighborhood, you don't have that choice?
Right.
You don't have that choice.
Okay.
Yeah, but nobody
I
likes
don't
it.
like it.
I don't like it
at all.
either.
That's
That
why
question-
people are
I
here,
didn't
because
want-
nobody
I
likes
think-
to pay
Nobody,
$10,000.
nobody's had
Hold
this
on,
more
hold on.
personally.
Respond.
In
Hold
answer
on.
to your question, Robin,
Hold
you
on.
asked a direct
One
question.
question at a time, please.
What, I'm gonna
Everybody-
answer.
Hold
Hold on,
Answering.
hold on.
One
I asked a
question.
direct question, nobody answers it,
I'm gonna
maybe
answer
Zoe
it.
will.
I'm here because I had concerns about the budget. It is that time of the year where we're putting together a budget,
Okay,
what we as a community are committed to, and I wanted to have the answers.
That's
I
fair
took
enough.
the time, I emailed you,
yep,
you giving me the answers.
that's fair enough.
That's why I'm here.
I know, but board
And-
members have had this every single time and nobody's asking questions the
Well, not only
whole
that,
time I've been on the board,
I
2018,
I always send it to board members ahead of
every
time,
month.
And we didn't have this conversation.
So I don't
But
understand,
expect
you could
questions,
send an
and
email
it's not up
back.
to me.
I think
You
that,
both
it's
could've
still
sent
having
an
these
email.
conversations.
It's
Excuse
not
me,
to
why
me.
are you addressing me? I haven't even said a word.
Because you asked.
I-
You
I
whisper,
I
you
asked what?
ask,
Whatever.
because I know, I'm not an
Yeah.
idiot.
Let's
You-
go. All right, let's
See
go.
what
On
needs
board.
to be
That's
Cheryl,
enough.
Cheryl and Lola
How
and the
people are
board,
allowed to talk.
within
I
this
understand, but we have
budget.
other things to
Not over
go.
each
No,
other.
wait,
Well,
wait,
when they're
code
done.
it, code it,
When
code
they're
it,
done.
What?
code it. I mean, through all of this, we have managed as a board to accomplish some things where the budget is concerned, okay? So I went back
Let me
to,
ask you, one penny from an owner. We're at $200,000 in legal fees over something that should have cost a $3,000 paint job. Does anybody in their right mind think that's normal? No, no. I'm $53,000 in the hole personally because of the family that this came from. None of you are. None of you got affected in your pocket at all. I did. I'm still here on the board trying to show face and help this community, help this case and everything. Do you think I'm gonna sit on this board and allow, it's an insult. It's an insult because we are trying our damnedest to accomplish great things without having to go to you and say to you, cough up $5,000. Many board members have requested for us to have an assessment. Cheryl, myself, we have discussed it, and not that we're the beginning and end of all, but we've been like, how do you go to people and ask for an assessment when you're $200,000 in the hole in legal fees? I don't have that kind of a cara dura in Spanish, they call it, a face to go and do something like that. I took this seriously, it's a fiduciary responsibility I have with every single one of you, not because you're my friend, not because I like you, not because I like you, not because when you need help in your house, I try to do the best I can to come and solve
I
something.
don't remember when we needed help with our house.
Oh my God, your short memory is impeccable and astonishing
I remember
to me.
you cost me extra $1,000, that I remember.
You are shocking to me.
All right, I'm shocking to
You
you.
are so shocking to me
You
right
cost me
now.
extra $1,000,
Shame
that I
on you.
remember.
hold on, just
Holy,
one second.
holy, I will
And-
remind you,
and-
I will remind you.
And
You wanted to
Ivan,
paint your
and
house.
Ivan had to paint the wall all over
Yes, he
again.
had to.
Yeah,
Do you
and
know
it cost
why?
him $2,000.
Do you know
because it
why?
was illegal.
Because you did what you weren't supposed to
It
do.
was
You did what
illegal.
you wanted.
It's a shared wall.
It's
You
no,
said
no,
it, so you
no,
said,
it's not.
you
No,
said
no,
it
no, I
yourself.
said it's a party
Yes,
wall.
it is.
Yes, it
You look
is.
it
It's
up
a
in
party
the,
wall.
You look it up.
so did
It's a
you.
shared
There
wall.
wanna be another $200,000.
Yeah, so did
Oh,
we.
please, I'm not gonna start any lawsuits
I
with you, that's
want-
like, it's
I hold
hopeless.
on.
I
It
know
was
who I'm dealing with.
regardless, it was
I
illegal,
see
and we
who
had to put
I'm
it back
dealing
the way it
with.
was supposed to be.
Please, all the
Please
speeches,
avoid
it's still paid.
Another thing I'm gonna ask, everybody in this neighborhood, you know who I am. Come knock on my door if you need my help.
Alright.
I will always be available, because I'm a neighbor. Before I'm on a board, I'm a neighbor. I moved here in 2017, from 2018, I think, I'm on this board, to have nothing but agita and aggravation.
Right.
If you needed help, I went and I helped you. If you needed help, I went to the back of your house, you had a jungle going on, you wanted Tony to come and cut all that for you because they had sent you a letter. Remember back in the
I
day?
remember
In the
that.
back, you had a lot of roots and everything, and they were giving you a pain in the neck, and they were harassing you, and I was like, let me go over there and help
The person
you.
you sent over ripped me off.
That's my fault,
That's
too.
called no good deed goes
Let's-
unpunished, that's what that's
Okay.
called, yeah.
I just wanna tell
You set the person.
I got a nice here from now on, unless you're kind and nice, don't call
I
me.
can do that,
You-
that's wrong,
You
that's so
shouldn't
wrong,
be doing that,
completely wrong.
but you still
And
shouldn't
I'm
be
allowed to
doing
say
that.
it's wrong,
So-
go ahead.
I just
Cheryl,
wanna
just finish
talk
up.
about.
You shouldn't be
a couple
doing
of
that.
I agree with
things.
that.
Can I, does
Excuse
anyone
us,
ask-
Shame on you.
please.
Shame on you.
We were supposed to have our docs redone.
What's
Right.
with the shame? I don't understand. What's with the shame? Who are you shaming
Quote,
here?
what you quoted.
Okay.
So we
Is
have.
that-
I've always been very nice. and
Who are you to
respectful.
shame her? I mean, what are you?
The budget.
No.
So we're not gonna have that done next
Well,
year?
hopefully we can have it done next year,
I
because they
should
need
like-
to be done.
Doing the docs.
The docs have to be redone.
The lawyer will tell you why not.
Why
I'm
not?
gonna
It's
discuss
okay.
that.
Oh, it's
Okay.
privileged information,
If
we
we
will
don't-
discuss it as a board.
No, but I'm saying there's no
But we
money
can
in
do a
the budget.
revitalization on our docs at
We
some
did that
point.
already.
Yes.
Yeah, we did it in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2019.
There's no
And that
assessment for
wasn't-
that either.
Yeah.
Us, that was
That
the
was the
prior,
previous board.
right.
Yeah, no, I know,
I
that's what I'm saying.
did a
we
little,
can.
I wanted to do, you know, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question about, it's not about this, it's actually, I didn't know if you were gonna get to it or not, about the house, you know, the double lot house. I just wanna know like where we were at with that, because everything's dead now, and
Okay, so
like,
can we
can
come
you just
back-
kinda
come
let
back
us
to
know?
That we have that, we can discuss
We'll
that.
discuss
We'll come back to
that.
Like,
that.
I didn't wanna like,
Well,
Yeah,
let's
we have
let's
that.
finish the budget.
Let's finish
So
the
I
budget
just, you
first.
know, this has been such a heartache with all of this. And, you know, my goal was to really like help it, because I didn't like the way money was being managed and spent before, it was rubbing me the wrong way.
Excuse me, there's no whispering.
Oh, I'm whispering, I'm saying, I'm controlling my tears from flowing.
Oh, I can
From
tell.
from the disrespect and the ungratefulness of so many people
Please,
here.
please,
I can
we're
see
having
it.
a meeting.
So.
Put it in your shoe and
I
read it.
just wanted to look at, you know, this board, even though they sound like they're falling apart, has accomplished financially some pretty decent things. So even with the
Thanks.
legal expenses and whatever else we've been facing with the things we inherited that we had to fix, like the landscaping was a disaster and the lighting and the mailboxes, whatever it is. We've managed to, from like 2017, I'm chronologically challenged, but that's about when I got on. Our operating cash is up 62%. Our reserve cash is up 106%. Our total equity, whatever that, I don't want to get into because I couldn't explain it. Our total assets are up, so I feel like the expenses, like where they used to have 10,000 and change for like pest control, that's outrageous. You know, we shifted things around, and we've just been, even though it doesn't seem like it to the community, we haven't been shirking our responsibilities. We're trying to take care of these things as they come up. We do have to deal with vendor issues and everything else and approval and whatever else, but it's just been much more effectively allocated, I'll put it that way.
And from my perspective, I'm gonna say it again. I genuinely believe, Cheryl, that you have done everything within your power to manage our money. I do believe that. And I will also go on record and say Lola has helped me tremendously, not only as a friend, but as a board member on my property. So Lola, thank you, sincerely. However, I do believe that what we're doing is, I did it with my business through COVID. I went into survival mode to protect my business, to make sure I was afloat at the end of COVID. We did that as a community, and I'm embarrassed by my community right now.
We don't disagree, and we have a
It
lot of
looks
things on the back
terrible.
burner.
Right, well, we have a
We have
list of things that we're working on.
Lights, structural, painting, pressure washing,
Yeah.
mulching and everything is in order. You can't mulch, we could mulch if we felt like it. What's that? Lipstick on a pig. We need to structurize the columns where it says El Dorado and everything. all those columns and everything, all of that has to get painted, all of it has to be
So I
worked.
think Carrie has. an
Now we
update.
have a
Can
little
you
bit of a
provide-
cushion, we can do it.
Well, we have the money we've been planning on spending on this stuff this year. You know, it's sitting there.
Terrible.
It's
The
embarrassing.
the park has looked like that,
It's a mess.
I hate to tell you this,
It was-
since you own that house, that park's looked like that. It
100%.
looks the best,
Yeah.
it looks better now than it ever did, because
Right.
it used to be a jungle with weeds
Mhm.
and everything else, and
Right.
landscaping never even went
They
in there.
didn't do
Now our
anything.
contract, landscaping goes in there. Before, garden leaders, nobody went in there. Not one landscaper used to go in
It's
there.
like that power wash, the broken benches outside.
The broken branch has to be removed.
Yes, we have benches to be
We've been,
fixed.
we've been talking
No,
about that
water
for 8
coming
months
out,
already.
excuse me, just so everybody knows, that park is not a park. It was intended by the developer to be a collector of water. And it was supposed to be a puddle of water, and it's not. And it'll never be a smooth surface that doesn't flood. That's why it floods, that's why when you have heavy rains, you can't go and invest too much money in there, because it's not gonna even do anything. It's gonna be a
So
big
what's
mess
the
of flooding.
fountain, what's the fountain for, that piece?
Because a whole bunch of homeowners got together and said, let's put a fountain in
That
there,
was so
whatever.
Why don't we shoot some water out of it?
Because it's gonna,
I don't think it even does it have water? No.
Whatever.
I never had
So,
water.
Lights
I just
all
wanna
the way
point
around
out
it.
one more little
it would be
But
pretty.
Sue, it could look better, I agree
Well,
with you.
pull the
I think
fountain
the electrical's gone, I think all the
Yes.
wiring is gone, I
Yes.
think
Okay.
everything,
So,
I think
It
over
won't
the-
survive
Over
because of the
the same
water
period of time,
that comes and floods. It won't survive.
over this same period of time, like 6 years, it's been 6 years, our fees have gone up 13%, which over the 6 years, boils down to $9.02 a month per person. Okay, with no assessments and everything covered and everything paid, and that's the way, you know, we wanna maintain it. We don't want any negative surprises. We don't want this situation.
was the first line of my email. I'm thrilled, great news, no increase.
Yes,
And
it
I
was.
mean that, but the problem is that we're still spending $1,500 a quarter, and of that $1,500 a quarter, which is a lot, and yes, Lola, I do agree, we're not the highest community in, but we're still spending a lot of money each, and we're just not, I just don't feel we're getting our money value.
Well, I
the
don't either.
vote-
I'd rather take the
Okay.
$200,000 and make that neighborhood look as gorgeous as
Well,
I
we
could.
could replace the lights with that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the lights is almost $200,000 to
So-
replace.
the other thing, there was one other thing.
If you all like us to do
Now
it, we could
it's-
assess
now
everybody and
it's-
just order them.
Now
Let
it's
me know.
gone, easy come, easy go. There was one other thing I wanted to point out.
Which, actually, where is the
Yes.
money that we budgeted? Because we do have, the contingency is, we do have a lights account, where did that money go to?
So, okay, we can talk about that. When we inherited all of this stuff, I have to get that sheet in front of me, because I don't memorize anything.
And it's just based on the contingency that here,
So-
we have it, and we budgeted for it, I think it was
We
over
have
30 years.
reserve accounts, okay, that, these are, we created some new ones at the recommendation of Jim, who's the accounting person at RMC, which I think was a good idea. Because when they're broader in scope, you don't have money tied up in different reserve accounts that you may or may not need, so I appreciated that. But we do still have, when we got this, it had a pump station reserve account, which still has some money in it, mailboxes, which we've used. So not only have we increased the reserve balance 106%, but we've actually used some things along the way. Last year, we did use $4,000 to refurbish the mailboxes. And I think somewhere along the line, there was a lighting expense, but I don't remember. A lighting, there's a small amount left, well, there's some in the lighting, there's a small amount in the gate, which we may use. There's an emergency fund, and then there are the ones that we are actively contributing to, which is the contingency, the betterment/improvement, and the asphalt seal paving. So that one is the only one that,
We're rolling it over.
well, that one has like a time and everything attached to it. So that's where, but the money's still, whatever's left in those other reserve accounts is still in them until and unless we need them.
Michael,
Question, has to be 1 to 2 years ago. This
we
board-
did a whole refurbishing of the bulbs and
It's
cleaning them.
nothing to do with the bulbs, the lighting, nothing with any of
Oh,
that
okay.
stuff. The board was asked, when a home is sold,
Oh.
whoever buys the home should give 6 months of dues into the account, into an
Capital
account.
contribution.
That's
6 months. When I sell a
25
house,
That's-
wait a minute, that's $2,500 you're talking about.
Okay.
when I sell it, I should give it to you?
No, the
No.
person buying the house
So,
gives it to
Michael,
the
The
association.
board had agreed on a certain amount,
Beverly had brought it up.
right, to institute the capital contribution.
Right,
That supposedly is in the works with your office, because that should have been done.
but so many homes have been sold since
And I
then.
appreciate you
But
remembering
it
and
should be,
following up
but
on
it
that.
should
Since
be,
then, it was 1.
it should be 2 months. If you buy a house for $100,000
Two.
and
Now
you
two.
can't afford
Two.
$2,500 to put in, there's a problem somewhere.
I understand, but there's only
I
2
would
homes
agree
that have
with
been
that.
sold, but that's not gonna.
2 homes?
2
I
homes.
In the
don't
last 2
totally
years,
agree
only
with
2
2
that.
homes?
homes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's still money.
Let's,
are there
It is.
any remaining
It was
questions about the
$2,000 or
budget?
2
Or any
assessment payments,
requested
whichever
changes?
is
It should
more.
be,
let's approve the budget, please. Let's go.
I approve.
You wanna make a motion? Second, okay.
Second.
Les?
You want to or no?
I'm not gonna prove it.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't need me, you know.
Well, if you don't vote, it's a no, but that's okay, as long as you.
No? Bev? No? Joe?
Yes,
Yes.
3 yeses. We're good to go.
4.
4.
4 yeses.
4.
Well, I didn't know, I'm sorry, we're voting for Steve, he didn't actually say anything.
I said yes.
Oh, I
Yeah, he
did.
did.
Okay.
He seconded.
He did.
Or you, vote first or second.
All right.
Do we do the regular budget stuff, or that's it?
so when are they gonna have it, so people have to pay
They
it
listen,
for
they
fun?
vote, and they go home.
Okay.
Good to have a vote, so we're waiting for the package and then we'll send it out and everybody will vote on it
It's
and
been
then
2
we can
years
do it.
already, at least.
It
It's
has
been like,
been
it's been like 3
years.
months.
It's been a short, it's been a short period.
No,
Yeah.
all right,
It's been a
let's go.
short period.
Chronologically.
All right, Carrie, let's go.
Okay, I just wanted to mention on the financials that, there is one property that we have a lien in place. The owners did contact us and did ask, or did tell us that they were trying to sell the home. So I was hoping they were gonna pay, but I think since they made a point of coming in and telling us that they're trying to sell the home, that means they're probably waiting to sell the home to pay the bill. But, they are aware of it, they've acknowledged it, they've come in, there is a lien on the property, it expires, on the 23rd of February, and then it would go to a foreclosure if it's not paid by then.
Everybody knows what we're talking about?
No.
Yeah.
Which
It's
one?
the double lot house, the big
Oh,
corner.
right,
How
Well, they
many,
didn't know.
right.
how many months in arrears are they?
Yeah. Yes,
How
you
many
can.
I guess
I
you go by
think-
quarters?
I think that's-
How much do they have?
Yeah.
So, no, that we can't discuss, only because if it's not the exact number,
We could be in trouble.
How
We're
about
gonna
if
be-
you just say how many months arrears?
It's
How about that?
it's
Approximately.
over a couple quarters.
So that's like at least 6 months or so?
That would be
A double, so that's like,
Oh, 2 quarters, it'll be 6 months, it's a little over.
Yeah.
No, let's just do it. All right.
I wouldn't talk about it.
Anything else?
To me.
so what are we doing about their, like, the hedges? Because you can do it.
Yeah,
You can fix it with our budget, and then you can get it from them.
they not only have hedges, they have those terrible wooden things behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
We
terrible.
Well, I
have
mean,
to
I look
access-
at it every
We have
day.
to access the property.
But I look at it every day.
It's terrible.
So you don't like
We haven't
looking at
worked-
mine,
we
I
haven't-
don't wanna
We
look at
have
that.
sent them a violation letter, they're aware they have to do it. Again, they kind of implied that they knew about it, and they were talking about it, but then they kind of threw in that they were selling the
So,
place.
Why
So
are
they
we
said
not,
they're gonna do it.
no, I understand, but why are we not enforcing it?
We are.
We are working on that. I think that they contacted I talked to Carrie
They've got
today.
lawyer letters
They
and
contacted
everything.
Guy Shear's office, and they said they were gonna be doing it, and I think they have a certain amount of time frame. And if they don't do it, then we would take the next step, which is what we're doing with the lien as
but we
well.
wouldn't wanna spend money enforcing if we're gonna foreclose and take the property, because then somebody else will be responsible, will actually do something. Otherwise,
Well,
we're
that's the other
spending.
thing, if they do sell, we're gonna do it on the
So a couple things, if they sell the property, whoever buys it is responsible. If we
Wait,
want-
I just wanna hear some. No, I couldn't hear you,
Oh,
I'm
okay, yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry. So if they sell the property, whoever's doing it,
Mhm.
the estoppel will say, this is your obligation, if you
Mhm.
don't do it, we will come after you. And if they, if we foreclose on it, whoever buys it at foreclosure will get a letter saying, gotta get this done, if you don't get it done, we're gonna take you to the next step, mandatory mediation.
So we have a recorded lien on it?
We have a lien
Yes.
We
for
have a
the
recorded lien?
assessments, not for the violation.
No, no,
Okay.
I'm saying,
Yes, for
we
the
have a
assessment,
recorded
yes. We're
lien
ready to go to
with
foreclosure.
Palm
Yes.
Beach County?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Recorded in Palm Beach County, ready to go to foreclosure.
On the 23rd.
Of this month?
No.
I'm sorry, that passed
February.
already, February.
Okay,
Okay, any new business?
well.
Wait, we're not talking.
We get more?
You still can't go?
I wanna hear, I want the rundown of the updates, the projects that we're
I
working
forgot
on.
about the updates.
Okay, so, there are a few people also on the list that still owe the special assessment, 4 of them, so we'll reach out to them and let them know. And a couple people that just paid the wrong amount, minor things other than those 2, those were the 2 major areas. Have this. As far as the old business, we do have some pending matters. We have gotten quotes for several items, some of them have been done, like the flowers. We didn't do the mulch, we were waiting to do the pressure cleaning. We got a quote for pressure cleaning, but then we have to do construction on the walls now, because they're falling apart. I've met with about 4 or 5 contractors already. And the reason I've met with so many different ones is because, when they look at it, verbally, they're telling me it's a $40,000 or $50,000 job. And so I'm meeting with other contractors to try and see if there's other ways to maybe do stuff without having to, spend that much money. So I had the last.
What walls are you talking about? Are you-
The
The
structural
columns and the
columns.
walls at the front entrance that go around both sides.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
both sides.
And in the back.
Which says Eldorado one?
Yeah.
No, all
One
that.
side, one side the Eldorado wall's connected, the other side the Eldorado's in the middle, and there's walls and
Yeah.
columns
You
on the
know the one
sides.
going
they
towards the
want
front
$50,000
entrance, that
to
whole
clean
wall
it?
is ours.
No, not to clean it,
No, no,
they're
back
falling
wall.
apart.
They're
The
back
back
wall.
wall,
They're falling apart.
where
There's a
Michael
lot.
lives,
They're all
where Michael
rusted
lives,
and,
in the back of where Michael lives, one of them is completely crawling,
Yes.
falling apart.
It
That one
already-
has to be
it fell apart.
completely
Yeah.
reconstructed.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with the club,
No,
or is that on their property?
it's
Nope.
ours.
Okay.
And the wall going towards the front gate, that wall, the wall,
Ivan's
that says
wall,
Eldorado,
Ivan's
yes,
wall.
yes.
that's
Ivan's
falling
wall
apart.
and gates,
To be fair, there is a tree growing through the wall, which
Yes.
doesn't help, but.
which he
Yes.
would not allow us. We went there and we tried to remove the trees and everything, but because it is his property, he did not allow us and did not want us to do that. I tried to repair all of this 3 years ago, 4 years ago. If you go into the records, you'll see it. And we did power wash and we did paint.
Mhm.
You were on the board. We power washed and we painted
Mhm.
everything. I believe it was in the park and everything. I think it was about 3 years ago. No, COVID, right after COVID or during COVID?
I don't remember, but it
Around
was
there.
around there.
While we're talking about the wall, when you come in, it says Eldorado,
Yeah,
there's more liable payments, so that's fine. On the other entrance, the, whatever one.
yeah, the back one. I bought the back
The
one.
back one, there's always, that one there. When you're coming from 18th Street up, again, it needs a little paint,
Yeah.
refreshing. When you're coming the other way, there's no sign, it's in Eldorado.
Yeah, they didn't put 2 signs. They only put it at the beginning and end. They didn't do like 4 signs.
Well,
don't think
when
you
you're
need
coming-
4 signs.
When you're coming, there should be something that says Eldorado.
There is when you
Well, when
first
you're
coming
coming from
in.
that way,
When you're
it
coming,
shows
when you're
it.
coming from power
No.
line down,
Yes.
there's nothing that you see.
The first entrance has 2 signs that say
So you have to
Eldorado.
go past that.
How about a
Well, that's
road
where
sign?
you
Are
know
there
it's
road
Eldorado,
signs?
if you're coming that way, you're gonna see the
You
Eldorado
don't need
sign.
4
Somebody
signs.
passes by.
You don't
Well,
need
then
4
they're not
signs.
looking.
You're gonna have a million wall signs. First of all, that wall that you're speaking of, one of them where Sharon lives, that wall, and you can't do anything with that. And then there's the other wall,
Which does have it on there.
which has it.
For people coming the
People
other way.
The people coming from Southwest 18
Mhm.
can see it, and the people
Correct.
coming from Power Line can see it.
Mike, what they're
Who
saying
more do you
is,
wanna see it?
if you come from one direction or the other direction, there's at least one sign you can see. If
You can
miss
see it from both directions.
You don't
Yeah.
need both sides.
Yeah.
From one
It's a
direction, you
little
really
road.
see it, one direction, you really don't
And
see
I
it.
get it.
Well, I never knew it was a wall by Sharon's house.
Well, it was
I
never
see-
there.
And they're falling apart, the walls, they don't just need to be cleaned and painted, they're literally falling apart.
No,
So-
the metal bead,
The corner beads are
You'll
all
understand,
rusted
the
and
corner
falling
beads,
apart and,
the rust is coming through completely,
stucco
and the
is
all
cement now is starting
deformed.
to.
Yeah, disintegrate.
Yeah.
So we're taking, it's not just little.
We don't
Right, it's
wanna
not-
we don't wanna go fix it, and then in 2 years from now, get chopped up and said,
Like we
you went
already
and
did.
spent the money stupidly and you didn't do anything.
right,
We
it's,
did it
it's a
already-
big, it's gonna be a
We
big
did it already
project.
3 years ago. We also did the lipstick on a pig, which I call the pavement,
I always think that's a
okay?
waste
That's
of
like the
money.
biggest waste of money.
Big
And the
waste.
only thing we should do is put money aside so we could repave it
When
eventually,
it's needed, which is not now.
which we were told that.
Okay, so anyways, we have the pressure clean quote, we did have the mulch quote, we weren't going to mulch because we were gonna pressure clean, but then we found out the walls are falling apart, so now we're doing that, we're going through that process. I know we have a couple of other contractors, we're trying to look at alternative methods of what we can do, so it's not a $40,000 or $50,000 job. I met with 4 people, I'm waiting for 3 of them, to give me prices. And they're pretty close, well, actually, one of them already sent a price and it was like 50 grand, and I said, no. And I met him out again, and this is just the process we're going through to try to get that resolved and figure out what we're gonna do with that. We've also had, as you all know, many issues with the lights, and we've been meeting with contractors for that. And I've met with different lighting companies, and, basically a decision has to be made. Are we just going to keep fixing them? Are we going to replace them? To replace all the light poles, not including any wiring under the ground, it's hundreds, thousands of dollars.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, that's what they
To
said.
replace, what are you saying is
To
not?
replace a light pole.
All
is
of
not
them.
Excuse me,
All
we
of
can't
them.
just replace the light poles.
You need to rewire.
We have to do the whole thing, we gotta bring it all up to code.
Needs to be rewired.
Right,
That's over 200, north of 200,000.
No, but what, I think what Ben is saying, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that we don't need to change the poles, we need to change the wiring. Is that what
No,
you're
no,
saying?
the poles are just as bad.
No,
The
no.
poles
they-
are aluminum, and
no,
he said that they're falling
May
and
I-
disintegrating.
may
You weren't there for the meeting with Delta, with
I
Night Electric, I was,
Okay, but I do understand the.
and they're the professionals.
Electric, okay. The head of the lamp post.
Yes,
Has disintegrated. It no longer works properly with the light bulb
Okay.
because water has infiltrated it.
okay,
These entire lamp posts need to be replaced.
Mhm.
The wiring
He didn't
may
say that.
not be bad, that is underground, because now we would have to rip up every
Correct.
single lawn
And
that
driveway.
we have and driveway
Well,
in
first
order
you have
to
to bring it up.
rewire.
you have to bring it
Okay.
up to code.
All right, well, of
She
course,
just went through it.
of course it has
What?
to be brought up
I
to
mean,
code, that
it-
goes without saying.
Me?
No,
Oh,
if we're
I'm like-
replacing electrical, of course we have to.
Yes, of course, that
So
goes
bringing it
without
up to
saying.
code is not gonna be like,
It goes without saying.
and
Pull a
they
permit,
didn't say
it's
that,
gonna
they didn't
be
say we
done
had to
to
replace
code.
everything. They did not say we had to replace.
And you may not need to
They
replace.
did not say
The
that.
wiring
Night
needs
Electric
to
did not
be
say
in a conduit. I don't even know at this point
He said
whether
the
the
conduit was
wiring is.
good.
That was one of the
He said
things
the
they brought
conduit is
up.
good. No, I don't think, he said, yes, he said, I believe the conduits are good. He said, I have to dig and see, but I believe the conduits are good.
If there is conduit there.
I'm gonna tell you what he said. It was so simple. He said that he thinks that the bulbs, one second, guys.
Okay.
Okay. He thinks that the bulbs itself, they're indoor, outdoor bulbs, but they may not be enclosure bulbs.
Right, he did say about that.
So he's thinking that yes, some sockets are compromised of water and et cetera, but he's thinking our majority of our problem is going to be a cause of bulbs. That our bulbs are not the type that you can put inside of a globe,
So you're saying
'Cause
they're
there's a
getting
second
too
type.
hot
it's,
and
They're burning.
they don't last. Well, there are companies that can actually test that.
well, that's what he's doing. He's going to do that and give us a price to do all the assessment on everything.
You do have a major
You were there.
electrical though, because
Yes.
if you go behind Ivan's house and you go behind Lenny and Galina's house, you literally have open wiring with all of the safe
No,
cases.
that's not electrical.
That wasn't electric, that was irrigation.
That's
No,
irrigation.
that was the
And
irrigation
cable.
I reported to.
And
I'm
cable.
talking about all of the there's green boxes all the way behind the houses. That is electrical wiring.
Okay.
And it's open, go and have a look. It's.
We've seen it, she
literally
complained
open.
about it and they
I'm
sent
not
somebody
talking
out to
about,
look at it.
I'm not talking about the irrigation broken
Okay, I
issue.
heard
I
you.
reported
Yeah, there was
that.
irrigation
I
and
heard
cable,
you.
both back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Okay,
are you
we have
ending the
to
meeting when
finish.
people have so many questions?
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
There's a lot of questions that it seems people are asking.
I understand, but we can't stay, everybody could get 2 minutes according to the law, I think it is, or no? Tell me if I'm wrong or right.
But are you gonna put light bulbs in the meantime? Cause we have one that works.
Yes, I know it's not safe and everything, but did you think I should go and buy and have somebody come and put bulbs in?
We've done it
and
25
solve-
times already.
Okay, do you?
Right, it's true, we
I'm-
spent a
I'm
lot of
saying
money
we've done it
and it's not
25
working.
times.
Exactly,
But
so
the
it has to be
problem-
done the right way, and we're thinking of hiring Night Electric is one of the best commercial electricians. I don't think we should be hiring electricians. I
Right.
think we should be hiring the best commercial electrician, or, the 3-tier, maybe the middle one, and that's who Night Electric is. They know our zone, they work only in this area, and they're one of the most reputable companies.
Cause
I
it's
think-
really dark.
Yeah, I agree,
Like right by my house, we have one.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
If Bev says there's a company that can come and do an assessment on the bulbs, wouldn't it behoove us to spend the money on that to make sure that?
How much are they gonna charge? How much do you wanna keep throwing into a bad situation?
It is a valid point though that Bev just made, saying
But
that.
who
this-
said that Night Electric isn't gonna do that with the
Oh, I don't
assessment that
know.
they're doing?
If it
She
is-
was invited to go to the meeting. She had to work, I understand. We had a meeting, we're
I
handling it,
Don't know
we will
anything about
inform
that,
everybody.
I just said it's a valid point, that if there's a company that can come and assess if it's a bulb issue or an electrical issue.
That's what Night Electric is doing.
That's perfect.
When did they come? How long
They
ago?
came
A
about
couple weeks ago.
3 weeks ago,
I haven't heard from them yet.
not even 2 weeks
Not
ago.
even.
Yes, they sent us some information, but when we went back and asked for different information, because it went back and forth and what they wanted to do, and they're a little hesitant, to be honest, to do it, because they're saying that, you know, what we wanna do to save money is probably not going to work, and they're gonna have to
And
be
nobody
coming
wants
back
to
and.
warranty old lights.
No.
Exactly.
I had the
That's
same problem
So
with the
what's the plan?
Addison.
So
They
what's-
let us
what-
tell me
what's
not-
the
they
con-
told me I gotta replace it, there's no
Yeah.
point in doing the work.
Yeah,
So what
that's
we'll
kind of where
do
we're
is
at.
maybe you could send your maintenance people, put a couple of bulbs in the ones that went out, and at least make sure that everybody has 2 bulbs up until we solve the situation, so everybody feels safe.
You didn't do black and no bulbs.
I carried
Okay,
it.
so, the concrete bench and the locks, the locks kinda went back and forth for a while, but as far as I understand, everybody's approved, just putting latches on them for now.
Yes.
I know one of them has to be replaced, it doesn't open and close, but we're not replacing that at this point, we're just gonna put new locks on them,
Okay,
so.
we voted on it, but does anybody wanna
No, it's a
change
dead-
their mind on
It's a
it?
dead issue.
That's
Okay.
it.
Dead
Let's go.
Okay.
Move on.
So that will get done. We also got prices for the surveys, which I don't know if that's still in the works or not, we haven't gotten approval for those. And then I think the last thing
Wait,
was,
surveys?
for the back
I
wall?
had given you a name of the company that I use, which was Target, I don't see them on your list.
yeah, I didn't hear from them, I'll try them again. I think I reached out to them, maybe I didn't, so I'll make sure. I can ask them for another one.
How many quotes did you get?
3.
Yeah, but they're how?
Mm-hmm. It's not a cheap.
Because it's a commercial assessment, so they wanna milk us. So
Well,
maybe they
well, no,
could
I
just
got
tell
it.
us,
So
well,
they're
maybe
doing the
we
whole
could just get,
community.
I know they're doing the whole community, maybe we could
It's
just
not
get,
one house.
maybe we could just get one area.
I think that if we're doing it, we should just do it.
I know,
Right.
I
We have
agree,
one issue after the next.
I agree.
Okay, so I'll get one more and then you guys can decide.
I would
What is that
speak
for?
to them.
A survey of the property lines of the
Oh.
community. And then the capital contribution, as soon as we get the
area.
package, which hopefully maybe this week or next week, we can get it and, send that out, we'll get a vote, and hopefully at the next meeting, we can put that in place.
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed what you said it
The
was.
capital contribution, I'm hoping to get the mailing out, if I can get the package this week or next week, we can get it out,
Okay.
get a vote, and have another meeting. And then, the last thing is, the violations, we have sent several violations individually, and we're gonna go ahead and do another inspection this month, February.
So don't shoot the messengers, we'll be sending you letters,
Yes, there'll be a few.
because we don't do selective enforcement here.
Yes,
Oh
it's
my
due.
God. Okay, let's go.
So that was it for the stuff to be,
Katie,
you
all
know,
this you just mentioned, where is it in the budget?
what?
All you just mentioned, the lighting,
The lighting is not in the
walls.
budget, I mean, they do have a small light reserve, and they have other reserves, contingency and,
Better.
betterment improvement, so they do have some reserve money, the locks is very inexpensive,
It's $793, right? That, isn't it in the budget already? Didn't she budget $793 for it?
for what?
Yes.
For what?
For the locks, for the
Yes.
gates.
Yes,
Yes.
No, no,
Gates,
I'm
the
talking
locks,
about.
sorry, I said that's minor, that's in
I'm
there.
talking about the walls and the lightings, that's where the.
They're
big
not in
We're
money
still
there.
is.
in budget.
It's
We're
just
still
whatever's in the
budgeting
reserve, and if it's anything over and above that, they would have to special assess, which is why we've been kind of beating it to death, trying to find the best way to do it, so you don't have to have a special
But
assessment.
then, this is misleading information. We don't have all the numbers here.
I don't know what you mean, that has nothing to do with these are not
No, the
regular
budget is the
budgeted
budget.
items.
You have
These
to
are not
show-
budgeted items, these are capital improvements.
I know it's a capital improvement, I know, but
Okay.
still you have to show it to us.
But it's not done, we have no
We don't
prices,
have a
we don't have
number to
anything
give
to do.
you, we're budgeting it out
That's what
because
we're
it's
trying to
coming
figure
out
out now.
astronomical.
So, you're budgeting out, that's right, that's what you just said. So
Right, we're
this
trying
is-
to get
this is
numbers,
not
there's no
here.
numbers in there because we don't have numbers.
There is no capex in here, no.
No,
Absolutely not,
So this is a
so
budget,
this is like a half of the
And-
budget.
this is a
No.
budget, but we don't have all the numbers in the budget.
no, that's not true. We have the budget for
Well,
all the
stop this,
expenses that are
please.
known expenses
Don't be so
and
dramatic.
estimated.
Go to the office and do it. You
We
have
have a
to
budget for all
We
the items
should
that
not
we
We
know
wanna do
are.
it now, we're here for the
We
budget
don't need to
meeting.
do it now. That's the beauty of
You don't
this.
need to do anything, don't you?
We don't have to spend the whole day.
Then
with
why are you
like doing
here
this.
if you don't have to do it now? You're on
Because
the
you
board.
could have an inquiry
Wait,
and
wait.
you could go to the office and inquire on it like the Greenfields had to do, because they didn't do this, they probably wanted to instead of having to go to an office. You can go to an office, exercise your right, get all the information you need, and that's the proper channel.
This piece of paper is
Okay.
meaningless.
To
Okay.
you,
Absolutely
Okay.
meaningless.
to you,
From what I'm
Where's
hearing
the
now,
money?
this
To
is
you.
absolutely meaningless piece of
to
paper.
you.
But it's not me.
She's insulted, I'm gonna give her right back.
It's not. So anyways, that's it for the maintenance items that we're working on.
We're volunteers, I don't need to take this.
She doesn't know what the
From
insult is.
anyone.
You don't know what the insult is, if this
Okay,
is
is
insulting
there any
you,
new business
you don't
at
know
all?
what the insult is.
New business?
Any new
Let me
business?
find out, tell me.
Is there any new business?
Believe me, you'll
Tell
find
me, I'd
out,
like to
you'll
find
find
out.
out.
Is there any new business?
Any new business at all?
Insulting.
I also, in my
What?
email, you have, once she's done that.
Any new business? We're closing. Any new business?
There is no business.
Bye.
Meetings.
Oh, look what you got to work with.
I thought we did.